Hello, my name is Anne Sinelli, lead counselor at Coppell High School. I'm here to talk to you today about Registration 101. The overview of this presentation is how to register for classes for next year. That's going to be the 2023-2024 school year. We're going to go through the course planning guide, inputting classes into Home Access Center, or as we call it, HAC, and we're also going to talk about Schoology and what we are using that for. We want students to focus on making their high school classes count. Challenge yourself with rigorous classes. And when I say challenge yourself with rigorous classes, I mean in the subject areas that you are most interested in. Sometimes kiddos want to take, or our students, sorry, want to take the hardest classes in every single subject area, even though they might not be good at a particular subject. When I talk with colleges and go through kind of the post-high school planning, I think one of the most important things is that students are challenging themselves in areas that they are most interested in. Another really important thing that you can do at Coppell High School that looks great on post-secondary applications is involving yourselves in activities or clubs and organizations. We have so many things on this very large and amazing campus, from debate, DECA, TSA, our amazing KCBY program, band, athletics, and then our clubs after school. So there's so many things to get involved in, and I'm always encouraging students to find what they are interested in and make sure that they are involved in that for maybe all 4 years or 3 or 2 years, whatever they can commit to. Also, know yourself and know that the classes that you take do involve a fair amount of homework, especially if you're thinking about AP honors or IB classes, which we will get into, and knowing, that we have a certain number of hours in each day. And so taking into consideration your mental, emotional, and social well-being while planning for these classes is very important. So January 18th is when course selection opened. We've had an open house on January 26th, and we're starting with our classroom presentations soon after that. These dates are also listed in the course guide. The classroom lessons are for students to meet with their counselor during their English class and get some questions answered for registration. We do have another open house for academic core classes on February 8th, and we're going to close registration out on February 24th. That does give students about a month to a month and a half to register for classes. However, they can still make changes up to March 10th. From February 24th to March 10th, counselors are verifying classes to make sure students have done registration correctly, make sure they have the appropriate classes needed for graduation. And in that time, before March 10th, students can make changes. They just need to email their counselor beforehand. March 10th is a hard deadline. That is the Friday before spring break. The reason why we have this deadline is so that we can build our schedule for next year. As shown here, we hire teachers and plan based on students' course requests. And if students do change their classes, or if we allow them to change their classes, it does cause an inequity in our planning for next year. And we cannot support that in our class schedule. So it's really important to make all of these plans and to attend the events so that you're making the best possible decision for you, the student, and as a parent supporting that decision, all before that March 10th deadline. Student course loads and release periods. Sophomores, so if you're a current 9th grader coming up to us next year as a 10th grader, we're super excited to have you. Just like at CHS 9, you are required to have 8 class periods in your schedule. They're not eligible for release periods. Juniors and seniors, you are eligible for release periods as long as you are in good academic and attendance standing. Juniors are eligible for 2 release periods, and they can be in the morning or in the afternoon. For juniors, I do always recommend that you only take one release period your junior year. Junior year is very important. It is a good time to really challenge yourself academically, but also, maybe getting a job or getting involved in things outside of school is good. And so having that one release period can be beneficial. 2 release periods I often recommend for students who might be taking a dual credit class, who still have 7 classes on their schedule, 1 being a dual credit, and it just looks like they have 2 release periods. Just so that release periods are not coded on a transcript. So college will never know that you took a release period. They just may see less classes. Seniors, you're eligible to have 2 release periods. Release periods are great to work on your college applications, your scholarship applications. It really builds in that time to devote to those 2 very important things. Again, about release periods, we do ask students to request what they want, whether they want a morning or an afternoon release period. However, we cannot guarantee that release period. We do the best we can to accommodate the morning or the afternoon request. However, it is not guaranteed. Now we're going to go into our types of classes. At Coppell High School, we have many classes. I'll start by talking about our on-level curriculum. This is our college prep classes. They are what we call on-level, meaning that they have a smaller amount of homework, a bit of an independent reading and work. However, there is a fair amount of teacher support through a lot of learning. When you get into honors and honors GT classes, they are a bit higher in level, and students are expected to do quite a bit more outside classwork, coming to class ready with whatever homework they had to do, ready to participate following that. Dual credit classes, we'll get into that a bit more when I have the separate dual credit presentation. However, that is through Dallas College, and those classes are given honors credit. They give high school credit and college credit. AP, advanced placement classes, they are one of the more rigorous classes that we offer, equal to IB. They are a set curriculum that has an exam at the end for College Board for college credit. You can expect a lot of homework with AP classes. What we commonly hear from students is that there's a lot of independent reading, and that is expected to carry over into that class period the next day. And so you can you can expect to have a fair amount of homework and a high level of participation in advanced placement classes. We also offer international baccalaureate classes as well as a diploma. Mr. Brock is our amazing IB coordinator and is always available to answer more questions about the program. IB is a more community-based, real-life learning experience where teachers are promoting conceptual learning. So AP is going to ask you to recall facts and information. IB is going to ask more for your opinion or to use examples from your own learning. So the curriculums are different, and IB has a bit more theory in it, where you can learn different things or dive into different subject areas, versus AP is a bit more structured. More information comes from our IB coordinator, and you can always reach out to our teachers. That's why we have the open houses to learn more about the programs. How to read our course guide. We put a lot of work into putting this course guide together for students and families so that they can have all of the information about classes. The first thing that you're going to see is that class title that tells you exactly the name of the class for next year. Then there's going to be a number. That number is going to be important when you're inputting it in the Home Access Center, which we will get into a bit later. Then there's the grade level. Most classes have a grade level recommendation or restriction, meaning that students in a certain grade level are only eligible to take that class. The class level, that's going to indicate GPA. Again, I will talk a little bit more about GPA in coming presentations. Credit, that's going to give you the number of credits. Now you need 26 credits to graduate. So thinking, honors chemistry offers 1 credit, adding all of that up over years needs to equal 26. Prerequisites. This is going to tell you what classes you need to have completed before you can take that class. So you need to have completed Algebra 1 and biology in order to take chemistry. We do not bend on prerequisites, so you got to make sure that you do that research and learning which classes you could take. Next is going to be level down. We do have 3 opportunities for students to level down throughout the year, and that is if a course is too challenging for them and they feel like they need to go into an easier level. We don't allow new classes to be added mid-year, but we do allow students to level down. The level down in this would be from honors chemistry to chemistry. And then there's the brief overview of the class. This is written by teachers. And so it's very important to pay attention and learn what is going to be taught in the class. Now on to Home Access Center, or as we call HAC. All students have access to Home Access. It's where they view their classes, their grades, and their attendance. When you hop into Home Access, you're going to click on Classes, and then you're going to click on Career Plan. You click on the grade level that you're going into for the next year. And from there, you can add classes. The subject areas on the left-hand side are aligned with what is in our course catalog. So you can use that as you're pulling classes in and scheduling them for next year. You're going to check the box saying that you would like to take that class, save it, and then it gets added into your course request for next year. The other place that we hold a lot of information for our students is going to be in Schoology. All students, both at CHS-9 and at Coppell High School, are already enrolled in an all students class. And this has a lot of information in it. I know I personally post our college visits in our Coppell High School course. And this information is for students. And it does have a folder entitled Course Registration 2023-2024. This is where students can find all of that information, the dates, deadlines, presentations, and any information that they might want to look up. And I think Schoology is the end of this presentation for Registration 101. I think it's very important to go through this process with your student to make sure that you know what they are registering for next year and making sure that they have their required classes. If you have any questions, you can always contact your Coppell High School counselor. And remember that March 10th is our deadline for registration. Thanks.